Hey guys, so today I was dealing with an issue the other day where I wanted to add more content to my Instagram, um, and because of that, I uh, I found that I needed to. Oh, see, we got some likes, but I wanted to add some more content, right? So um, basically, if I can get this to work, come on, there we go. So basically, what I had was, and I think Barracuda might already have. Nope. So Barracuda is a great example. So you can see all I did was add a one of our cocktail pictures to it, and when I did that, I just added new main cocktail pic from hashtag Barracuda cocktail. And it's super simple, but I was like looking at Instagram and I realized you can add so much more to a post if you already have the data. And sure enough, we have the data. And so therefore, I wanted to go ahead and start adding the data. And, uh, and I came up with a clever solution. Since I already have the data, I can just go to Commonwealth Cocktails, right? And while I log in, I'll go ahead and disable that. And then I'll do a login. Let's get this. Uh, so right now in the background, I'm doing a login. And we'll do a login, and do do do. All right, and then we will show it again. All right, so now we're logged in through the admin portion of the app in this case. The reason why I have the admin portion of the app is for things like this. So we want to do a Barracuda, right? And so we'll go to Barracuda and see. So what I've done in the admin section is I've said, oh, I have extra data. And so, I mean, it's all on the page, right? This is all dynamically generated. It's 100% in a database, so I can access it. And then I just have to change how it's presented, right? Because obviously I don't want to capture this because it has extra icons like further cocktails with those ingredients, maybe a drizzly link, maybe a reserve bar or something like that. And so what I wanted to do was be able to get a more robust social media post, and not every social media platform needs this level of detail, right? So Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn all allow this level of detail, right? But like Twitter, this might be too much for Twitter, especially if you have a blurb here at the bottom. The Barracuda bio, just the title and hashtags, that might be too much for even Twitter, right? But maybe for like going back in and adding to Pinterest or something like that, you could add that extra little bit, which would be really really helpful. The top part, the Barracuda by IBA. We can just come down here. And so in this case, I'm using a tool called Visor, and it allows me to manipulate everything via my computer. So I'm really just recording on OBS and then doing a screen grab on Visor, and then from there we can come back in here. And this is the hiccup, and this is why I'm doing it, because Instagram requires you to use the app to do the edit, and because of that, we use we're using the app plus the web interface for the website. But with all of that, I'm able to take this very boring new main cocktail picture, whatever, and I'm able to drop in the um, whole recipe. And I saw a bunch of other people doing something similar on Instagram. I hadn't seen anybody actually put in the quantities, the units of measure, the generic in some cases, or the specific in other cases, uh, ingredients. And then nobody was putting like the methods, like blend or shake or something like that. So yeah, it just seemed like a really clever, simple way of combining all this together and making it more accessible to transfer the data to the social media platform. So we'll go ahead and say click, and we'll get it done. And now what was a boring, hey, this is the main pick thing, right, is now way better, right? So when you click more, you get the recipe, and that was a big thing to me. I've seen other people do it where they don't provide the actual full recipe, and that is super frustrating when when you look at it and you're like, oh my god, that looks amazing, I really want to make that. What's in it? Oh, okay, I have all this stuff, but what are the quantities? You can guess, and I've often guessed, and sometimes you get great results, sometimes you get bad results. Oh, I actually see a bug, so we can go in here and edit. I've actually had this problem where when you go to when I add the last line, I think it's because Instagram wants you to have a capital letter or a number after a return statement. I don't know, something about the copy and paste. It works on like Facebook and LinkedIn, but for whatever reason, Instagram really doesn't like it when you do in my case, I'm doing a web copy and paste. So this would be like a BR tag, a break tag in the web interface. And there's a break tag for sure there. It's just for whatever reason that lowercase with spaces in front of it causes it to say, no, 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 I know what you want me to do. And it's like, no, Instagram, you do not know what I want you to do. Anyway, so that is pretty much how you go from boring to interesting when you have a recipe. Obviously, things like my quick post, which are not terribly interesting to begin with, I could up the game on the quick post here, right? And you see I've already done it, and I can add more information, right? This, I was talking to one of my coworkers here, and we're both in agreement. This is really super boring image. It doesn't tell a story. There's nothing interesting. And so the debate we're having about, say, a background kind of like, hey, this is how we do this is how we're developing this is how do we make it more interesting? And hopefully we'll have some more coming on how do we make something so uninteresting into something interesting, right? So the beauty is this is content. It's something, right? It's something is better than nothing, but it doesn't tell the story of the brand that we're trying to build. And because of that, we have issues, right? So this is all part of the learning process. How do we go from boring to interesting? And that, that goes all with the branding concepts and how to build out all of our components of the brand so that we have, all the right icons, all the right logos, all the right text, all the right colors, all the right mood boards, so that this is all done so that we can say, this is how we did it. Now somebody else go do it after we've given them more than enough examples where they can run with it, right? So obviously we start with very little money, and because of that, we're limited in what we can do. But this is all that background work that even with limited money, you can be doing to improve the brand, right? The idea is this is boring. Why is it boring? It's boring because we don't have the brand behind it yet, right? So that's what we'll move into here in the future. And this kind of information just adds to that, right? So the expectation now is that all cocktails we post will have this kind of information in the post so that it's super meaningful. All right, thanks guys.